What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back here with another Wuthering Waves video here, man. So yeah, man, we're back to talk about the Phase 2 banners that's going to be debuting with Shakona. Now, I went ahead and went over Phase 1 rerun banners. So if you want to check out that video, it's the video before this one. So go ahead and check it out if you haven't already done so. So here I'm only going to be discussing Phase 2 characters. So let's get into it. Now, just to provide the context, I know a lot of people are talking about, what the rewards and things like that should be. Go check out those other videos where I spoke on, people, asking for things regarding these banners. So I'm just going over the characters' worth. But if you want to know my opinion about that, go look at those other videos. So here on this rerun banner for part 2, we have Gen C, Chang Li, Carlota. We have Mama Mia Roshia, and we do have Brant. So, all right, so let's get into it. So I have 3 of the 5 on this list. And like part 1, I had 4 out of 5. The only one I was missing was Gian. But here on this list, I have Jinshi, Chang Li, and Carlota. So like I said, I don't have Roshia. I don't have Brant. And that's because I skipped them too. So here, as of weapons, I do have Jinshi Sig and I do have Chang Li Sig. Now, I didn't go for Carlota's gun because I had to save, but I do have the Miss gun, the gun that give her crit rate. So the one from the standard banner. So I think that one's pretty good. So I do have that pistol for my Carlota, and it works just fine. I don't have Roshia gauntlets or Brand sword because I didn't need them. So all right, so let's get into it. So should you summon for any of these characters on this list? Now, like I told you guys initially, if you wasn't summoning for Shakona herself, I think she's going to be a very good character for the teams that she's going to be on. You may summon for these characters. So these characters just got to rerun as well. Jinshi, I believe, when Phoebe came back, and of course Chang Li got a rerun or came for the first time, and Chang Li came back when Brant debuted. So yeah, when it comes to these characters, you may or may not already have these characters, and I know some people are summoning for dupes. So like I said, this video is intended to like those new players or people who just started the game. Maybe they started in Renacida, maybe they're gonna start in when the anniversary starts. So Chang Li, I'm gonna start with Gen C. So first, Gen C, if you guys don't already know, it's a very, very strong spectral DPS, and those 2 moves that she has is just strong. So you can do the resonated attack, and of course you have the ult, which she does a lot of damage. So like I mentioned from part 1, paired her up with like a great sub DPS like Yinlin, or pair her up with Juja or Cantarella. If you have those, Gen C will be your girl. She will be able to do crazy nuke damage, especially if you have the signature, or you use the free one from the from the game, that free greatsword. Now Chang Li, of course, this is still one of my most favorite characters to play in the game. Her playstyle is just insane. She attacks pretty fast, and she can be used in a variety of teams. So with Chang Li, of course, you can use her in her resonance ability team. So of course she will buff other pyro characters, which would be like with Brant. You can use her with Encore, and you can also use her in quick swap teams with Shang Liao, and also I like Havoc Rover. So Chang Li can be used in a lot of quick swap teams if you want to use them in different ones. Now, if you want to use her as a main DPS, of course, you'll have to use her with Sanhua, then, of course, a support. So Chang Li is still very, very strong, except her damage doesn't come in forms of nukes. It just comes in, a bunch of different attacks. And then, of course, the ult, and then you hold the button for the, the other attack. But yeah, man, Chang Li, very, very fast. I know a lot of people love her playstyle. A lot of people love the attention to detail that she has, her model. Everything just looks good. Same thing with Gen C, man. These characters look so beautiful in this game. So Carlota, one of the big characters here that came in Renacita, she is very, very strong. So a lot of people have been using her now to, clear certain things. A lot of people put her in the high tier of the DPS of not being S1, because I think people say Gen C is the best S1 character. So S0, Carlota is your girl. This girl's, very strong. From, during Resonance Liberation, there's a lot of things you're going to get from her, because it goes into a good sequence, and then of course she does the attack, but she do has the other things going on for her. So you do want to pair her up with other characters that can help her with that. Also, you have Juja, of course, who's buffing ice damage, and of course giving her some energy as well. So Juja is Carlota's best partner, and yeah, man, you can use her with other characters, but Juja, I would say, is the best option. But some people use her, Carlota, with Chang Li, Quick Swap, and also some other teams. But yeah, man, Carlota, I would say she's one of the newer characters that really, really hit hard. And I think ANNI is going to be just like that once she releases in, phase 1. But yeah, Carlota's not a bad pick. I enjoy using her a lot as well. Her and Chang Li, I would say up there as my 2 favorite characters to use in the game. So let's go on to Roshia Mamma Mia. So Roshia, I know a lot of people like to defend her, but I think, she's cool in her own right. But I made a video before, if you guys don't already look at it, if you want to go back to it. This character is okay, but when it comes to buffing Havoc teams, I don't think you really need her. So I have Camellia on my account, and I chose not to summon for Roshia. And that's mainly because Sanhua does the job just as good, because I have the Esit Sanhua, and her rotation just feels a lot better. So if you're going to use Roshia, you may get more damage on it, just slightly, but it's not a lot. And of course, you may have to summon for that weapon. Now with Sanhua, you don't. So with Roshia, her rotations is a lot more longer. So Roshia is a lot more on field. You're going to have to learn her attack screens, get that in, get the on-field time, do her echo, and then get out. Of course, you're going to do her ult first, I believe, do those attacks, and then, of course, do the, get out. So basically, yeah, she's going to require a little bit more skill, but, it could be a little rewarding, but it's not a lot. So that's the reason I would say you wouldn't want to summon for Roshia, because Camellia works just fine by herself. Pair her with Sanhua if she needed support, it works just fine. You don't need to waste pulls getting Roshia. Brant, I would tell you, man, even though I don't have him on my account, he's one of the most unique and versatile characters in the game. This dude can heal, put on the shield. It's not a lot of healing like a regular healer, but he can put on the shield. He can also buff pyro characters. I know people who have Chang Li have a blast with using her and Brant together. And man, I don't have that synergy, so I can't relate. So I can only watch it, as other people do it, but we got to play with him and test him out, in game. This game does a great job at letting you test out certain characters and whatnot in certain parts of the story or whatever. And of course, you always have the trials as well. So always try these trials out. You may like, these characters, how they feel, depending on, using them yourself. But Brant, I would say, yeah, man, very, very decent character, man. A lot of people mention him getting interrupted sometimes doing his attacks, so you do have to be careful. Same thing with building him can be different, especially if you're going for the the set that he uses. So yeah, it can be different if you build him with that new set that came with Renacita instead of putting him on Moonlit. But yeah, man, him as support / sub DPS can work, especially doing a lot of damage with him with the anchor attack. Then of course swapping out to someone like Chang Li or somebody else. But Brant, he doesn't have to be used with another fire character per se, but he just works better with someone like Chang Li or like Encore, so they can get that extra fire bonus. So yeah, man, Brant, very, very versatile character on this list. So I think when it comes to like him and other people. I put him above Roshia for sure, but I would not put him above Carlota, Jinxie, or Chang Li. But nevertheless, I would say he's not below them per se. I would say he's probably equal to. But still, when it comes to roles, because he has, all those things, he's not the best at them. So let's say healing, he's not the best healer. Let's say shielding, I would say arguably he's not the best shielder either, even though doesn't use the other girl all the time. And attacking, I would say he does decent damage. So he's just pretty good at everything, like a jack of all trades. So yeah, I think he will work, I would say, more in the future proof with these different game modes we're getting. If you're not using like a dedicated healer like Shorekeeper or somebody else, you can try to get away with him, but you're going to miss out on a lot of damage. But so you're going to use him mainly in the sub DPS role. So if you're running Chang Li, Brant, Shorekeeper, or Verena, but you're never going to run him in that third slot. It's just not going to work right. Yeah, you lose out on damage, but if you want to have fun, you can do that. All great characters overall, though. You cannot go wrong with anybody in this list except Roshia. I'm sorry, Roshia lovers. I'm sorry, I got to say it. But yeah, this list you can't go wrong with. No balance list. All these characters can be used, even Roshia, in the current in-game and all the modes that we have, and they work just fine. So you really don't have a bad pick. Now, like I said, if you're not summoning for the other girl, I don't know what else to tell you. Like I said, you may already have these characters. Maybe you're summoning for Shakona. Now, if you're skipping Zanny and skipping Shakona, I can understand, because sometimes we do get good things after the ANNIs. So people are expecting, new drip marketing for current Theo, Parlova, or somebody else. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what your thoughts are. Who you plan on picking up? I've seen a lot of feedback from, X, and also from these different groups I'm in on different other social medias like Facebook, etc., where a lot of people appreciate these rerun banners, especially if they were new or they never got a chance to summon for these characters and they don't have to wait a long time to pick them up. Yes, it's not 50-50. I mean, yes, it's not guaranteed. And yes, it's not a reduced banner, like you have to put in less pulls or not. It's just a regular summon. But it's better than someone waiting 6 months, 5 months, whatever, for them to be able to summon for one of these characters because they're not in that rotation. So like I said, these are optional. You do not have to summon for all 5 characters. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.